What's up, guys? Yo, welcome to the channel. Andy's Crypto Talk here. Just getting some stuff started here. Sorry about that. And then I'm gonna share the stream real quick. So just give me 2 seconds and we'll get right started with the show. Yeah, Brady. Oh, buddy. We're all here for the ride. We're all here for the fucking ride of our lives. This is it right here. That's the ride that we're in for. Oh my god, can you get off my screen? Oh my god. There we go. That's the best. It's getting it. Alright, look at this. So, this is what we're all here for. This is what we're all here for, folks. Looks like it's giving us another entry here. We're going to talk about some memes and dreams today. Why am I like off the screen? Let me reset. There we go. Got my Kilo set up. I got the link copied, so let's just share that out. I hope y'all got some Magic Eden. I really hope y'all got some Magic Eden. I hope you guys got some Citadail token in the lows when I was saying it was legit. Oh, they can't. That's crazy. So I can't even look at Gate.io anymore. They shut it down just because we got maple leaves. Look at this. So this is what's cooking right now. Is Griffane launched Citadail AI. It's because of the AI. Griffane Capital, Citadail. This guy sniped, it looks like. But anyways, so Griffane is an agent engine is what they call it. So basically what it's about is, and I don't even know why I'm not following it. Essentially what they're doing is they're allowing people to create their own agents through the platform, through the project. So okay, we live in the Telegram now. Said we live. Let's get some, let me get some charts ready to tee up here. Okay, I got that one ready. Just so I can kind of talk about this properly. Test. It was just a test, they said. I didn't actually talk about this one yet, so this is kind of an introduction. But AI, we all know AI is cooking, right? Like I talked about Gold, I talked about lots of AI stuff. We know it's cooking. So there is the agents that, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys know something about AI agents. If you don't, it's basically like AI that can continuously do stuff, not just like one command, but like you can be like, here, make a online store for me, and the agent will go and it'll make the website and it'll like link the products and it'll choose everything. You can just say like make me an online store for like shoes or whatever. It'll just pick everything. It'll get going by itself. So this is an agent engine is what they call it essentially. So you can get started on Griffane and yeah, I mean, you can create essentially your own agent that does, like, you can choose for whatever it is to do. So I'm going to be playing around with this in the next few days, and I'll try to bring you a more in-depth video of what it is. The Citadail actually got some form, I think, either allocation or just to be part of it exclusively. But I think essentially you would just get started. You get started with just your wallet, so it's totally anonymous. and kind of play around with the agents there. So anyways, these guys, this is an AI that runs this and is now made a hedge fund, and then it called it Citadail, and this thing has been cooking. And I did actually just share this one in the TG, so I figured it'd be worth actually mentioning this live, because this is graphene, and I mean, this thing cooked, right? So like on a much lower time frame, we could be just right down here, sort of, right between these, you know, like this area, right? This cooked really hard though to begin, I'd say. Yeah, we could just be in this kind of beginning innings, right? Like this thing just launched. You know, this is the first run up essentially. On a 15-minute, it just straight green candled up to 5 mil. Now, you know, it might take a little bit of time for this thing to cook. Like we can see, you know, this one ran up. When did it hit 5 mil? So it hit 5 mil about here. You know, we could see a dip back down to maybe, you know, 2 mil, 1.25. If it does similar stuff like this, you know, it's spiked up like that. We're kind of in this cook right here, it looks like, actually. So we could potentially have another dip down. This is a few days, right? This launched on the 2nd of November, and it cooked for a while, right, before it really started to take off. But I mean, this beginning stuff looks like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it did run up to about 35 mil, but then really dip back down. I think the rest of the market was having to cool off as well, right? So this was kind of AI wave coming out of end of October. It pushed on that AI wave. It had a correction. Now we're seeing meme coins starting to cook, and this thing went. Sorry guys, my buddy's just messaging. So this thing's been on a cook. It's just stair-stepping. I think it's doing similar stuff to like what GOAT did in its beginnings. This looked really promising from what people are actually building, from what's coming out of the woodworks. You know, this thing is getting a lot of traction right now. Yeah, here's a nice little demo. Let's see what it does. Agent Blink. What is this? And you can buy and sell right away. So like you can get this thing to cook for you. This is legit stuff, guys. Like this is where we see the agents sort of take over in crypto, and they're going to push this stuff. The agents are involved in the manipulation of this price moving upwards. So that's super bullish, okay? Citadail. I think this one's a real big cook. We're in the dip right now. What could we see as a potential fib? You know, look at it bouncing on the 618 perfectly. Bouncing really nice on, like I said, 768 I think is the deepest that it's going to go, around 1.82 mil. Worst case scenario would be down in this 1.36. If we took the trader main's advice and say we did like a, well, we can't even do a 1 hour. We have to do like 5-minute candles, which is kind of crazy. But you would kind of draw a box down here of the down candle before the up move. That'd be the trader mate. No, it would be this one actually. Yep. Because it's the down candle before the up move that broke market structure. So this range, 1.5 to 2 mil, that's what we were just talking about. It's kind of the worst case scenario. Although, like, this looks like it has enough momentum right now to just send upwards. We saw it correct down to 2.5 from 5.5 and then rush up to 5 again. So it's got a lot of momentum. 8.8 mil in volume. And this thing just launched today, right? So you're on ground kind of floor. It looks like it was a pump fund. It launched up here, yeah. It pump fund dumped, which is kind of crazy that it dumped and gave people a 9,000 entry, which is pretty crazy. I mean, someone putting in a K down here, they're sitting pretty. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that one because, like, we see here, right? Like, I think that's, let's see how we would see that. Yeah, kind of like that. Maybe a longer time frame. Right, it has that drawn out and then beep, 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 beep. And then it's gonna send. Anyways, let's chat markets, let's check out the charts, see what's going on. If any of you guys have any coins you want called out, just let me know. We'll be doing this TA stuff. Okay, so one thing we were talking about paying attention to was the VIX and seeing if it continues kind of going lower so that risk assets can continue pushing on upwards. The dollar index pushing back up, looking like maybe another rejection off 107. And what are stonks doing? Stonks are just continuing on upwards. S&P's sort of hanging right now near the tops, but the NAS, the Qs, tech is really doing good. US 30 is actually dipping pretty hard. But it does this, it'll dip hard and then it'll run up again. I know Tesla hit some major markers here recently, and I think this is what we call price discovery now. It's hit the prophecy 420.69 and it's gone flying since. As you can see, we did mark this out on the charts and we told you guys this was kind of the range to play in. And you could have probably taken a good assumption that after it gapped up here and it kind of took another correction, this would have been a perfect ideal place to play. And you can see my line is even like in this vicinity, that as soon as it was above this, that's kind of when we see the play out. You know, it's kind of, my squiggle's fairly similar. It might just be a little bit longer than anticipated, and it's gone past swinging that as well. So it's created this this is super bullish pattern. You know, we see this one in crypto all the time. It's kind of the meme pattern and it just sends upwards. So we gave you Tesla, if you played it or not. Did just want to talk about that because it's crazy. Apple is continuing its ascension upwards as well. You know, we gave you this play as well at some point here. That it was going to play out of this and just continued. It did correct back down. Gave you a really nice entry down under 200 just recently for that swing, 26% in a few months on something like Apple. And again, we see this meme sort of triangle that's forming. So yeah, GME, the cat came back. And we actually didn't see what I think we should have probably seen with the cat coming back. But there was this massive candle because of it, because we had dipped down and then rocketed up. Or was this the cat? This was the cat actually. Yeah, because it's like 8 days ago now. This was just a weird volatility day. But this was the cat coming back, popping us up from around the 26 range up to the 30 range. We talked about that. I think one of the last streams, it pushed us out of this sort of cone that's going to move us into the next price ranges. There's a lot of volatility and suppression at this $30 range though. I think this is hedge funds really trying to make that last fucking hurrah, you know what I mean? Like just really trying to stop whatever's going to happen. But MOAS is inevitable, so Jimmy, I think, is at the point where it's going to straight send after it releases this $30 range. We can redraw this. It's a cluster. Like, look at the clustering of price here. That's really kind of closer. That one was good. It's this one I want to move a little bit lower. It's good. Like, it could cluster back down into 25 and tap it before it leaves. But it's really clustering up nicely around this range and just pushing up the floor ever so slightly. So yeah, GME should be pumping soon. As always, we like to look at this one. And it looks like, you know, we had a big pump the other day on Monday for the USDT dominance. And then it dumped back down. So I think still looking at like under this 3.8%, you're going to really start to see some fireworks because it's kind of going to gap down to like, you know, 0.5%. And that's a lot of unused capital there. Big pump on dominance of Bitcoin. That was on Monday as well. And now we're dipping back down. That could be kind of what we were seeing, what we were talking about here. And then now it continues down some more. But yeah, I would keep an eye on it going over 57. That would be kind of saying that Bitcoin's kind of taking charge again. So speaking of the corn, there's our markers. Now, like, I on purpose didn't do this for a few days. Mind you, we had this massive volatility here that, you know, I kind of missed talking about, I think. Let's see, actually. When was the last time we talked, guys? When is the last time we talked? One of my videos went pretty viral since then, too. 6 days ago, right? So yeah, almost a week ago, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. So we probably did talk about the volatility, to anticipate it, to thrive in it, to become one with the volatility. See, even just like this one. Look at the volatility right here. But that's going to make buyers and stuff step in. Look at this. Right to the dots. It bounced right on my marker. So that's something to pay attention to when you have price action like this, that these types of places of congestion will tend to get revisited. And there'll be places of interest for big money to either reach down to or push up from. So that's why they become so important. Like, I bet you we could find one here on Graphane. Yeah, so it would have kind of been this. And you can see how that place reacts as a place of liquidity. Lots of liquidity in the dip here, the dips here. So this would probably be a good place for this one to bounce as well. You can even pull it back this way and see that's where it actually spiked up into. So this is going to be a place to pay attention to. So anyways, Bitcoin is playing into our hand, as we saw, you know, spiking and showing us volatility. I know I talked about seeing volatility moving upwards, right? And then I think we had some other charts that we lined up some other potential outcomes. You know, seeing a spike up into the inauguration and then a bounce back down onto the lower of this cylinder. You know, I showed you guys the cylinders last time. I think we were talking about danger lines on this one, but not that important to keep those. Just trying to see if we have any other lines that we talked about. But yeah, this one's important, right? Like this 94K, we talked about this as potential resistance, which has turned into support. And now, you know, we're looking to push up above that quite nicely. Kind of doing this upward channel triangle feature. So ETH BTC, this is one to talk about because it almost broke out here. You know, probably right about 6 days ago when we last talked, and I was probably saying that, like, you know, pay attention to this, we can see this recover, but this is the inflection point right here. Yeah, we did see the ETH USD, like this thing pushed back up. It did have a major rejection that day, but it's pushed back up nicely. You know, if we look at the 4 hour, it bounced on the 3400 very strong, right up back to 4,000. All right, so I think Ethereum's ready. It's cooking on this. You know, it's just tapping the previous all-time high it made this year, and then our, of course, full all-time highs. You know, we're looking at 4,400 for potential resistance, then up to the 40. I would even target just 5K because it might just zoom through, kind of like Bitcoin did. Now that we got these, that we got the capital kind of backing Ethereum, we see the ETFs really pulling in some weight, and you can see that in the volume, of course. Especially in these weeks, we've been pulling a lot of volume. So one that I think has been buried deep and deep and deep, Sol ETH, which is taking a beating due to the ETH outperformance, and of course Sol BTC, which I think, you know, it's still just grinding in this setup right here, which is slowly pushing up higher, but hasn't made its real breakout moves yet. So keeping an eye, of course, on Sol dominance, that it broke underneath this pattern that we drew. Do we just redraw, right? Like, I mean, this might be a little worrisome for something like Solana. Although, again, I think there's so much volume and anticipation, so much movement happening on chain, that's why we're seeing things like Solana USD still be doing pretty good. It's just not performing as good as something like Ethereum or Bitcoin right at this moment. Or something like XRP, which this one is on a tear, everyone. So this one, I think we talked about it last. Yeah, we talked about it 6 days ago or so. You know, talking about it just moving and pushing past into that $3 all-time high range, which right now it's looking like it took a major correction because of this insane run-up that it continuously had. It took a bit more major of a correction right down to 190 from almost $3. But now I think that's flushed out enough of the weak hands for this thing to move. And look at this perfection, right? Like it pushes, and now it retests and sends. I think this is the point where XRP is really going to start reaching up and really showing us again how it's been moving. And so watch for Dino coins, because I know some of these Dino coins have been moving. I know people are paying attention to Link because of the Trump news. There was definitely some movement, and we see that this thing, what has it done? It's created this massive zone, and it's pushed out of that zone, and it's retested that zone, and now it's really going to the races. Once it passed $22, it just has a lot of volatility. And so I think paying attention to stuff like this, as it could fly up into the $36-50 mark fairly quickly, playing catch-up plays like BTC. I mean, I'm not one to just be focused on catch-up plays, but playing strength where it's happening is something that's important. That's why, you know, I trade XRP. That's why Link might be worth trading, right? It's just like when you were to see maybe Solana start doing better, you would maybe want to pay attention to Jupiter, right? Because Jupiter is going to do really good. Oh, look at that. So like we entered here. It went for our target. That was so long ago. And then I said stop loss to break even. So this was a break even trade. And now it's coming back up into this play. And I think once we get over this $1.35, like that's kind of resistance, right? So we're going to see some massive movements from things like Jupe coming into Jupuary. Right around here, probably breakthrough. Anyways, we definitely talked about a lot of meme coins, but I don't think we talked about GOAT. We haven't talked about GOAT for a while, but this one I think is looking pretty unseen. Now that it's broken this larger time frame channel, downward channel. And then kind of over top of this. Yeah, I think breaking over top of that. We might even want to move it right to the 1 billy. But no, yeah, there's a lot more volatility down here. So I think breaking above this is kind of where we see some more constructive patterns from GOAT. But could really see some major movement from all these AIs starting to play out here. What else did we want to talk about? Citadail. Did we talk about this one? I think we talked about this one. Yeah, I think we talked about this one, how I said, you know, this bounce on 1 milli. That's what we're looking to reclaim on this thing. And this thing got listed on gate.io. It did have, you know, finally a bit of a swing up here. And then it's been sideways, kind of chopping ever since. Then we had a really nice pump today. It went over 50% in 1 hour candle. Then it continued up to about 450K. So I think we're going to make a marker up there. That's kind of, you know, we're underside retesting this stuff though too. So that's very interesting to see. I think this is kind of a really important flexion point that we want to move past so that we can see some recovery up on Citadail up to probably the 625, maybe even up a little higher around here, 750 mark to the 850 mark. We want to see that kind of recover this previous range fairly quickly, and I think it has the ability to do something really good now since we saw the lockup. Let's actually check this out. It's going to be in here somewhere. There it is. 53 minutes ago. Lockwars.streamflow.finance. And we can see here Citadail up in 7th place with 27.1% locked. If we go by locked supply, they're actually in rank 3 of the top supply locked, which is huge. That's like really big. So it does go by value locked, so that's something to pay attention to, that, you know, by value locked, Citadail's 7th, but that value is going to continue going up as the price goes up of Citadail. So, you know, if we say move up to 100k, or sorry, to 700k, then our 80k locked turns in, or 90k locked turns into, you know, almost 180k, which would definitely push us up into 4th, around 4th, you know, double again, and then we're in 1st. So I think around the 1.5 million mark, if we got there, we would be in 1st right now. And with 27.1% locked, I mean, that's insane. People don't realize the type of price squeeze that is possible. So yeah, I mean, that's one I would definitely YOLO a little bit into. It's probably worth it, but again, not financial advice. You choose what you want to do with your money. Of course, Mudang I think is a bid right here. This is a pretty big bid zone for Mudang. I think I showed you guys this one before. You know, we've been watching this thing cook, and we can drag out our bid zone. You know, it bounces off this, so this is anywhere around here is pretty good bid zone. This is kind of in the lower topper range, and I think we're gonna see, like we see on WIF and a lot of these other ones, kind of this 1, 2, 3, and then pump. So we might see one more cresting up and then another dip before it really fully sends. But yeah, I mean, this one's live on Coinbase now, so like a lot of people can get in on this one quick, and that could move price up very, very quickly. All right, so I think that's all I want to chat about tonight. We've been about 30 minutes and it's getting late here anyways, so I think I'm gonna call it at this rate here, and then we will catch you guys in the next live stream. The point that I really want to hit home on this one is keep bidding, because if you stop, then you're gonna miss out on some of these big moves that are gonna come. And yeah, just keep an eye on BTC to lead the way, and make sure VIX don't get too crazy and out of control. This could lead all risk assets quite down low. We don't want to see that. So yeah, we'll catch you in